Hey guys, Matt here with BleepinJeep. Today I want to show you two methods for packing bearings. It's also raining, so you get to listen to Rain on a Tin Roof as an added bonus. So first I'm going to show you how to pack a bearing by hand, and then we're going to use this handy packer. That's the two different methods we're going to use today. I recommend that you have some high temperature wheel bearing grease. The more expensive the better. You get what you pay for. So the first method, we're going to take this wheel bearing and just put some grease in the palm of your non-dominant hand. Now take the bearing and you're going to press it in. So when you get these wheel bearings, you need to grease these before you install them. Otherwise they're going to burn up prematurely. So do it like this, and you're going to start pressing this grease in until it starts squeezing out of the top of your hand, or of the bearing rather. You're just going to keep pulling and pulling, pushing and pulling until that comes through. You can actually see right there, if that'll focus, you can see how it's coming out the top of the bearing. Now, you're just going to keep doing that over and over. Clean out this from the middle. But you're going to keep rotating this bearing all the way around until you get that 360 degrees pushing out through the little bearings in this cage. Okay, when you've finished and it's come squirting out of the top of the bearings in the cage all the way around, you're finished. Go ahead and wipe a bunch of extra grease around the outside of the roller bearings. Try to stuff it in the sides. Anything you can do to get as much grease as possible inside of here. Now when you go to install this, don't clean it off, just leave it as is with as much grease as possible. Alright, so the second way is this handy packer. Let me go ahead and clean up this mess first. So the handy packer is great to use if you have a lot of bearings to do, or maybe you don't want to get your hands dirty. This piece on top is just a dust cover. We're going to remove that. And then you've got this plunger. Now the plunger screws on in case you want to pull this piece out, which it's used, so it's got a tight seal on there. Now there's holes in the bottom of this. We're going to put a lot of grease in here. It's going to shoot the grease up through these holes. We're going to place the bearing in here, and it's going to pressurize the bearing and send the grease through, just like this. Let's put some grease in here first. Alright, we got some grease in there. Gonna put this down. Gonna unscrew this. Now when you put the bearing in, you see this bearing is like a cone shape. We're gonna do cone down. So just like that. You can screw this on or not. You only really need to screw it on when you're pulling it out. So now we're gonna go down until all that grease is compacted near the bottom, and as you push, it's going to start pushing that grease out through the bearing. Okay, I just added a bunch more grease, so hopefully you can see better what's going on here. Now we're going to put the plunger on and start pushing here. I'm going to rotate it back and forth. Hopefully that'll make it easier. Normally I would have this flat on the table and putting all my weight on it, but trying to get the camera shot in here too makes it a little more difficult. Now what's interesting with this bearing is it's a used bearing, so you can see the old grease is going to come out and be replaced with the red grease. So you want to push on this until all of that black is replaced with red. That's rough doing it at an angle like this, but check that out. You can see it's starting to come through there. It's already cleaned on this side. Let's see if we can get it to clean out on this side. I got my heart racing without even doing any activity there. That was interesting. Alright guys, so once you see that it's all turning red, all that nasty grease has come out on this particular instance. It's going to be a lot easier, of course, if it's a new bearing and there's no grease in there. But we're just going to take that now and wipe it all on the outside like the previous one. And that is how you use this tool. Now I realize I made a giant mess right here, but that was so that I could show you guys the bearing being packed. You wouldn't normally fill it up over the top, so keep that in mind. There's one more thing I wanted to point out. If you had a specialty grease or one that only comes in a tube, you can actually fill it through this Zerk fitting on the top of the handy packer. Alright guys, well that's two different methods to pack bearings. One by hand and one with the handy packer. If you're interested in that tool, I'll leave a link in the description below. But let me know, which method do you prefer, by hand or with the handy packer tool, and why? Leave that down in the comments below. Thanks for watching guys. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.